Alright, now it is time for the top 5 segment. Oh, so damn difficult.
Jason.
I know. Shout out to Jason, podcast producer, doing some amazingly hard things. I teased it last week with the cult films that I'm a huge gangster movie fan.
Yes.
And so this week it is top 5 gangster films.
Yes.
Damn it.
It was so hard.
It really was, man.
Man.
It really was. There's so many that I just wanted to put on here, but just couldn't because we don't have the room or the time.
It's true.
And it's just so damn good. But my number 5 is Last Man Standing. This is a very, very underrated gangster mobster film. It stars Bruce Willis, and it's basically like a gangster western where these motherfuckers are out in like Nevada before Las Vegas and shit, and they're just basically trying to colonize. And it's kind of like mobsters in the sense where there's two gangs in this western town, and Bruce Willis's character comes and just like plays both of the gangs against each other, basically works for both parties and fucks everything up. But it's a really good movie, man. It's really underrated. Not a lot of people know about it, but Last Man Standing. Be sure to watch it.
There you go. My number 5 is the star you're more than familiar with gangster films. The film you might not have heard of, but it, in my opinion, maybe one of his best roles ever. I'm talking about Bobby De Niro.
Yeah, boy.
The film Once Upon a Time in America. It's about a Jewish gangster family that, integrated to New York and ran the gambit as a crime family. And then it takes span over 40 years, and it kind of shows you the story of them coming over on their rise to the, being the mob bosses and ruling everything, and then their downfall. And now they're kind of like in their old age now, talking about it all, kind of a thing. But it is one hell of an intense crime drama gangster film, and De Niro is absolutely at his best in this film. I mean, can you have a crime family or gangster film without De Niro?
Right.
I'm just saying. It's check it out if you haven't seen it. Once Upon a Time in America, really good.
Definitely. Well, my number 4 is Waist Deep, starring Tyrese Gibson. This one's basically all about a guy who is trying to get out of the life, and then he was just on his way home from a freaking day at work as a security guard, and he gets carjacked, basically, with his son in the back seat. He doesn't give a fuck about the car, but the whole time, this is about getting his son back. And, it's just crazy, man. The Game is in it, the rapper The Game. And I love this because to have that bond to try to get somebody that you love so significantly back in your life, and you don't want anything to happen to them, and you don't want anything to harm them. So it's just a really, really good film. Waist Deep, Tyrese Gibson, and Megan Good as well.
First of all, Megan Good, probably one of the most underrated actresses. I
Agreed.
swear to God, she is so good, y'all. That is a freaking fantastic film. I have a trend going, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. My number 4 is another gangster movie with Bobby De Niro. Goodfellas, with Ray Liotta. And guys, I think it's hands down, undeniably one of the all-time great gangster films, right? The one-liners in there and the things that go on in that film, freaking just if we know you've seen it. I don't even have to explain the film to you, Goodfellas. It's just, why it's on my list. You know why it's a great gangster film. And if you haven't seen it, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's the real question.
Goodfellas.
What the fuck?
Goodfellas. All right.
So am I ha-ha funny, or am I that kind of funny?
Exactly. I mean, come on.
I know.
Come on. All right.
So funny. Only that movie can make Joe Pesci be like the hard ass fucking busting people's balls.
That's
and
right.
shit.
That's right.
So
that's another guy. Can you do a gangster movie without Pesci?
I know.
I don't know. At least an Italian or a Jewish mafia type gangster movie.
Exactly.
I think it's a rule.
You have to put that motherfucker.
It's got to be Bobby De Niro or Joe Pesci or both.
Yeah. Exactly. My number 3 is The Departed. Multiple reasons. Everybody knows that it was on my
What is with you in that word today,
I don't
man?
know.
I don't
My
know.
cop thrillers list. And then, of course, Mark Wahlberg. Leo, everybody knows, one of my all-time favorite actors. Jack Nicholson. And loosely based on Whitey Bulger. We went back and did the research. It's true. You were right. And so it was just such a good movie, guys. Such a good movie about basically the parallels of growing up in a place like Boston, whether you're either going to be a gangster or you're going to be a cop, and just the way they played everything. Just an absolutely brilliant movie. Martin Scorsese, one of his finest, and just amazing. So
Yeah.
good, so good. Check it out.
I can't argue with any of that. It's boy, my favorite thing about these top fives over the past few weeks is the content that are on these lists.
Yeah.
Is amazing, guys. If you like, go watch all of them.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, I'm gonna step away from De Niro for a minute.
No way.
I got to step away from De Niro for a minute because not all gangsters are mafia, right? Like, so I'm gonna jump into the hood. Boys in the Hood
Oof.
is on my list.
Yes.
John Singleton, just a masterpiece by a master director, John Singleton. Morris Chestnut, Ice Cube, Lawrence Fishburne, just like all these fucking amazing people about coming up in the hood and being trapped in gangster life and trying to work your way out of it. And it's an epic telling of, unfortunately, things I feel like that are still going on. At the top of the show, we're talking about the murder, of rappers. And like, this is hardcore, guys. And I think this is a eye-opening, stark reality look at life in that type of a neighborhood and what people are forced into, sometimes not by choice.
Exactly.
And so it's a deep character study about, life in the hood and coming up that way. So Boys in the Hood. If you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor by, like I said, just a brilliant film by the late John Singleton. And yeah,
good.
It's so good.
Definitely.
Watch it, guys.
Definitely. And my number 2, a highly underrated freaking gangster film, Public Enemies.
Yes.
Johnny Depp
Yes.
as John Dillinger. Just an epic ass fucking bank robber, and nobody really knows if that was. It's kind of like a Kennedy situation. Nobody really knows if that's the real John Dillinger that died. But
it's true.
It was just such a good movie, and our buddy Spencer Garrett.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
In that movie,
because he's in everything.
He's in freaking everything. But Public Enemy is such a good movie. Definitely, I remember going to watch it in the theaters, and it's definitely one that I will remember forever, and the theatrical experience is needed for movies like this.
Yes. And yes. Spencer Garrett, Johnny Depp, all you need to know.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Brilliant film. Okay, I'm getting back on the De Niro train, okay? I'm back to Bobby. All right? Are you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Okay. I am jumping in. My number 2 is The Untouchables.
It's a great one.
The great one, Elliot Ness, Al Capone, fucking Kevin Costner, and De Niro. And Sean Connery.
Yeah, buddy.
Enough said.
Enough said.
Have you seen this film? Have you fucking seen this film? Like, if you haven't, what?
Exactly.
It's a brilliant, brilliant masterpiece of a gangster film about the takedown of Capone and Elliot Ness's rise in the FBI. Do yourself a favor. Watch it.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like that's good. I mean, you mentioned Kevin Costner, Bobby De Niro, and Sean Connery. You shouldn't have to say anything else.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
Well, my number 1 is a movie that I just cherish because it's so damn good, and there's so many great actors in it. Mobsters. Freaking about Lucky Luciano,
Yes.
Bugsy Siegel, Meyer Lansky, and Frank Costello, all growing up in the gang. And, we got Christian Slater. We got freaking Rodney Eastman, who played fucking, I believe Bugsy Siegel.
Yep.
And Costas Mandylor as Frank Costello. But, guys, you know who played Meyer Lansky?
Who?
Patrick Dempsey. Patrick Dempsey played Meyer Lansky and a gangster movie. So this is by far my number 1 gangster film. Boom.
And if I had to say it, if you're talking about all-time gangster movies with the best hair.
All-time gangster
This
movies.
one would have to be it.
Fucking, this is the best one. Be sure to watch this shit. It's so damn good. And fucking, I just got Patrick Dempsey did a great job portraying Meyer Lansky, and Christian Slater did a great job portraying Lucky Luciano.
Yeah.
It was so damn good.
Speaking of another underrated actor.
Yeah.
Christian Slater is
I
just
thought you
a
were gonna say
brilliant guy.
Patrick
No,
Dempsey.
God,
He is underrated.
I wouldn't
He
be able.
is
I wouldn't be
underrated.
able to get out of here if I said that. I mean, I can't attack his man crush. I said he had great hair. Okay,
He
all
does.
right. I do like Patrick Dempsey, guys. I love Patrick. He's good. And kudos to you. I just want to say this is brilliant because you actually put together a top 5 about gangster films, and you actually found 5 without De Niro.
Exactly. Thank you.
My list
I know.
is continuing the trend because my number 1 is the Godfather trilogy,
Yeah.
of which Bobby is in.
He is
because can you do a gangster film without De Niro? No! The answer is no. So, all kidding aside, though, I mean, can you have a list of all-time gangster films and not include The Godfather?
Right.
It's the epitome of gangster films.
Exactly.
It's the gangster film of which all gangster films come from. Like, I mean... 3,
Yeah.
1 and 2, yeah, but
Fucking
3,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But 1, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not just one of the best gangster films of all time, just one of the best films of all time. I mean, so Francis Ford Coppola and just
So good.
it's so good, and there it is. But yeah, kudos, you found 5 without De Niro.
Exactly.
De Niro's coming for you. It's
Oh,
all right.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I wanted to put Goodfellas up there, but you got done with your list
I
first.
know. Well, yeah.
You know.
That's like when you snag my 80s movies. I'm like,
Exactly.
son of a bitch!
Exactly. Oh, my goodness.